Okay, everyone, welcome back to the continuation of the recap. We had some technical difficulties, so we're recording the rest of it on our own time on Zoom. Thanks everyone for sticking around with us whenever you watch this. We apologize for the difficulties with technology, but you gotta love internet connection and not gonna name any names for who my internet provider is, but I hate you who you are. But to help me continue this once again, Carter's here.
Yes,
How you doing,
sir.
Carter?
I'm doing great. That internet provider, man, I got some choice words for them, but that'll be for another podcast.
I probably shouldn't say I hate you. I should say I strongly dislike them. Hate's a strong
Right.
word, but we'll just summarize what we were quickly talking about. So we had a little bit of a open dialogue on who we think the NBA or the MVP of the finals is going to be for the
Mhm,
series now, because obviously Chris Paul laid an egg last night and was really a big reason why they lost. And Devin
mhm.
Booker did show up, so I said Booker was more than likely going to be the MVP of the series if the Suns do end up closing it out. And Chris Paul's performance last night closed the
Mhm.
book on any potential chance of that happening for him. But you were kind of more on the fence about it.
Yeah, I was definitely if I could see Devin Booker, I could definitely see your point if Devin Booker continues what he was doing last night, and if Chris Paul continues to just also do what he's doing last night, I could see it going that way. But right now, if things go back to normal, I'm still saying Chris Paul.
And we also talked about how this was the most entertaining game of the series. Games one
Mhm,
through three were somewhat close, but you kind of knew the result earlier than we would have liked. Whereas this game was really back and forth to the wire. So nothing to complain about there. And the series is all tied up too. What more could you ask for? The series is at least going to go 6 games, maybe seven, and I'm looking forward to it because we have two teams who really want it a lot. Two teams that a lot of people didn't think would make it to the finals. They thought that they'd be second round or Eastern
mhm.
Western Conference Finals exits, and here they are. Two small market teams. We're probably not going to see this again for a while. So as a fan, I'm enjoying this. It's been very
Exactly.
unpredictable.
I know it's great to see. It's great to see everybody else get a chance. Get LeBron, get them out of these finals. Let somebody else have a chance.
So that's pretty much where we left off talking about all of that. And another the thing I wanted to talk about also after this, before the whole internet snafu happened with me, is DeAndre Ayton was pretty much a ghost last night.
He kind of was. I mean, it
He was,
was the only time I really heard the commentators really talking about him was when he got blocked by Giannis.
which we'll get into. That was not a good moment for him. He only took 9 shots last night. He only had 9 shot attempts last night, which really surprised me.
Yeah.
He's been dominating that matchup in the paint this whole series, whether it's someone like a
hmm
Tucker on him or an Antetokounmpo. He's
hmm
really been able to do as he pleases. He nearly had a 2020 triple double or double double in the first game of the series, and
hmm
game three he was dominating, but he just got in foul trouble. So, are you surprised? Once they realized Chris Paul was going to have an off night, or it really wasn't going to be his night, that they didn't try to feed it into him more in the paint?
I was honestly so. I feel like Devin Booker really felt how Giannis felt game one when he was just absolutely doing everything he could, and everybody else on his team just wasn't doing anything. Like, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, like he was doing his thing, like with rebounds, like 17 rebounds. Or yeah, 17 rebounds. That's really well. But I mean, they're expecting him to score at least 10 points along with that. I mean, 6 points for him, seven for Bridges. Like Drake Crowder, 15 did his thing, 15, which is really well for Jay Crowder. Devin Booker, 42. And I don't think they were prepared for Chris Paul to just go there and get you 10. I think they really thought he was going to they probably thought he was going to get like easy, like in the 20s. They're probably like, oh, maybe he'll get like 24 points. Like we'll be safe. We'll be fine. But I just don't think they expected it. And I think that was probably one of their main problems as to why they lost this game.
And it speaks to how close this game was, where it ended up only being a 6 point decision. But
hmm
I think if you give the ball to Aiton maybe two or three more times in the paint and get him good scoring opportunities, Suns probably win this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Suns, yeah, they had the lead most of the game. The lead was there. They just like for 40, right, as you said, it was like 40,
Over
42.
four. Over 41 minutes, 41
Yeah,
minutes and 35 seconds, or 86% of the game they led.
that's like,
And they weren't
how
even
do you
playing their
not win that?
best.
Yeah, it's like, how do you not win that game? Like, they were probably their odds beforehand, like the betting odds were probably something pretty similar to that, like 80% chance of the Suns winning. But it's, I don't know, the Bucks just, they came back. They fought. They were out there playing like they weren't playing the first two games. They were just playing like a completely different team, it felt like. And then the Suns just folded. They folded basically, except Devin Booker. I gotta exclude him from when I say Suns folded. Devin Booker did not.
And as we said, there was that crazy. The last 3 minutes and 30 seconds were ridiculous in terms of entertainment. Obviously, as we talked about before the internet thing happened, there
Mhm.
was no six foul on Devin Booker when he probably should have gone called for a foul for bear hugging Drew Holiday. And then, as you talked about just a few minutes ago, Giannis had probably the play of the playoffs for me. That was probably the biggest play of the playoffs, like as a whole
Oh,
of
that
any
was,
team, when he's denied DeAndre Ayton's lob.
yeah, they were, that was, wow, that was something else. That was, I don't know how he can get up that high. I'm like, what is Devin DeAndre? And like, he's like 7, is he 7 feet? I'm pretty sure he's 7'1" or something like that. That's that's high up. Like any day of the week. Like I feel like I don't want to discredit Giannis because that was a beautiful block. But I mean that pass, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the greatest of passes, but I
I
mean that's
wouldn't have
not.
done that.
Yeah, I'm not going to discredit the block at all. That was a beautiful block. But that pass, I mean, it could have
I
been better.
I don't. I mean, I like the play design, like the whole pick and roll with Booker and Aiton, but
Yeah.
when it's crunch time, you don't throw lobs like that. I think that was a little ill advised. Granted, it nearly worked, but as you
Hmm.
said, Giannis with a heads up play, really crazy block. Like it's really easy, or it's never easy to block a shot, but it's obviously more ideal to block it off the
Hmm.
backboard. But
LeBron
Giannis
20,
kind of had a
2016.
yep, that's the perfect example. But on this play, Giannis had to turn around and just like practically slap it like out of nowhere. He had
Yeah, it
no
was like
backboard to rely on.
it was the movement was like something that someone of his height, his length, you just don't see that. Like you don't see someone moving like that. He went from like the free throw line basically like turned his back all the way and just it was like it was like textbook perfect. It looked like it was just the cleanest block I've ever seen.
And still talking about the Bucks, the star of the night for them was not Giannis Antetokounmpo, although he did have
Mm,
another solid night with 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists, nearly a triple double.
mm,
Just continues his dominant NBA Finals so far. But Chris Middleton showed up once again, and Chris Middleton, as we talked about in the first part of this recap,
mm-hmm,
was able to put up 40 points, but his shooting percentage was not that great. He missed 18
mm.
shots to put up 40 points.
It's yeah, and that when you see something like that, I don't know. It just makes me think like I feel like those shots should be going to someone else. Like, I mean, although he did score that many points, like those shots, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just, it's so hard to judge it because, like, he scored that many points and, like, that's a lot of points in the NBA finals. Like, that's nothing to, like, to knock on him or anything, but just those amount of missed shots, like, I think, I don't know, they either got to give those shots to someone else or Chris Middleton just needs to shoot better. Like, I think that's all it is. He just needs to shoot better.
I think that's the great way of putting it
Mhm.
because you don't want to give those shots to PJ Tucker.
He
Nothing
got
against
zero
PJ
last night.
Tucker, but you don't want really him shooting more than 5 shots a game.
No,
That's not ideal. Drew
no,
Holiday had 20 shots himself, but
not a great
uh,
offensive night.
he only shot 20%, I think. So
He's going defense though. Like, I don't
that's
know what,
that's
yeah.
a saving grace. I mean, that's
Hmm.
really the only reason why that's really the only thing he's used to his benefit in this finals. Again, not hating on Drew Holiday. Sure, he's a great guy, but he has literally shot the lights out in a bad way in this.
20%, 20%. That's all I'm seeing is 20% every time I look at his numbers.
So it's almost kind of like Chris Middleton. He kind of has to do it himself.
Yeah, now that we're really breaking it down, he's got no like I mean, you're not giving it to Brook Lopez. Do not give it to Brook Lopez. Maybe just give all these shots, maybe just give it to Giannis in the paint. Maybe that's what they need to do. That's like it's guaranteed to work. We've seen it work every single time. Basically every single time, I should say. And I mean, if those missed shots are going to Giannis, it's maybe two 40-point games, two players getting 30 points on the team. Suns could be in trouble if the Bucks really figure out what they got right now. Like they're getting there. Like I mean, I feel like it's not fully figured out, but if they get there, the Suns are in big trouble.
I think that's a great way of putting it and saying that they're getting there. They have
Mhm,
not put together a complete effort so far. I know this might be a scorching hot take from me, but they benefited a lot in game three from Ayton being in foul trouble. Obviously,
mhm.
Giannis had another 40-point game, so you can't discredit that.
Yeah.
And in this game, they benefited from a terrible performance from Chris Paul
Mhm.
and them just making some boneheaded decisions. They had to rely on their defense a bit, but it's going to be very tough for them to continue winning these games when your point guard, a member of your big three, and he plays 43 minutes in the game, or at least in this last game, is missing 16 of the 20 shots he takes. Like,
Yeah,
Drew
that's
Hall
bad.
step it up, as we've been saying, if
Mhm.
they want to have any chance to take this series, because the Suns, as bad as they played, they were in such a good position to still win that game last night, and that scares me because when they're at full strength, they're going to blow out the Bucks. They're going to blow them out of the water. I just don't think the Bucks are good enough. As much as I want them to win, because I'm more so rooting for the Bucks because everyone in the world is just cheering for the Suns. So that makes me want to root for the underdog.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just going to be so hard for them to pull this off. It really is.
They need to they need to figure it out on
They don't
I
have
don't know if
enough
it's
firepower.
yeah, that's one thing they do. When you look at their team, it just feels so like it just looks incomplete. But I mean, last night though, hold on, let me pull up the statistics so I get them right. Just so I get them right. We got Pat Cunnington. He had 11 points, but 3 for 7 shooting for three, and then 4 for 9. I feel like, and then like 9 rebounds. I feel like he had a great game. Like he was doing really well for them, and he played a lot of time too.
He hit
I feel
some
like
big threes to keep him in the game before it got away from them.
yeah, like right in the fourth quarter. For some reason, I don't know. When I saw him, I thought it was for some reason in my head, I was like Matthew Dellavedova, then I was like, wait a minute, I was like, that's not him. It's Pat Cunnington. And then it just he was good last night. He was really good. I feel like maybe they gotta give some shots to him, some extra shots. Maybe this is his time.
I would keep giving it to him because he put together another solid performance off the bench. He's really proven his worth as a 3-point specialist, and he's really the only
Yeah.
production they have off the bench because Bobby Portis had a pretty disappointing effort in this game after having a solid
Hmm.
performance in game three. And Jeff Teague is Jeff Teague. They only give him 11 minutes for a reason, you know?
Yeah, Jeff Teague is just there to fill up a spot.
You only have three people who you can consistently rely on to score
Hmm.
on Milwaukee. It's Middleton, Giannis, and not Drew Holiday, but Pat Connaughton. So
Yeah.
you only have two starters that you know can go off, and then you have to rely on your six man.
Yeah, and then you just got
Versus right, versus the Suns, who everyone in their starting five is capable of putting up
mhm.
15 to 20 points a night.
Oh yeah, then you got Cameron Johnson and Cameron Payne. I mean, those are just two solid role players. Like the Suns are they just the Suns are just the better team on paper and
Absolutely.
in game. Like either way, it's like the only way the Bucks win is if somebody does bad, though. I feel like if the Suns play bad, the Bucks win. So
They
if the Suns
capital
play good, the Bucks will lose. That's the Suns need to figure that out. Let's play good. Let's play good.
if they it's what they did in games three and four at home. They capitalized on their big players and the Suns getting into foul trouble and having off night shooting. And
Mhm,
part of that is them playing good defense on these players
mhm,
individually, but a lot of it is also luck, as you just said. So
mhm.
it
Another. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
no. It's just last point, as I said earlier. It's going to take the Suns really beating themselves more than the Bucks beating them,
Mhm.
and that's not a place you want to be in if you're Milwaukee. You don't want to have to rely on people having off nights, but that's how
Yeah.
they've gotten to win two games.
Yeah, I mean it's what you gotta do though. If you're the on paper not the better team, gotta do what you gotta do to try to scrape up these wins, these home game wins. Those are two huge wins for them. If they went down three
Absolutely.
one, that series is over 5 games. If they were down 3-1 right now, Friday close out the series, it would have been over. But now that it's 2-2, it's interesting. We got an interesting series in our hands.
So
But
sorry.
I want to go back to what you were saying before you cut out before about the potentially being rigged. by the refs. Like, did you mean by the refs? Is that what you meant?
So that's what they say. Oh, are you asking about like what story I was about to tell about the rigging happening?
Kind of, because I kind of want to bring up the fact that, like, remember how Scott Foster, he was like coaching the last game and then like Aiden got into foul trouble. Well, he wasn't doing this game, and I feel like, and they still, I don't know. I kind of want to know what you mean by the whole. Tell me,
So
explain.
real quickly, the 2002 Western Conference Finals between the Kings and the Lakers was rigged. Um,
Hmm.
a referee admitted to calling a ton of ridiculous fouls on the Kings so that the Lakers went to the line more. And I could
Uh,
be mixing up two different stories, but this ref went on a podcast and admitted that the games were fixed because his life was on the line. And that's no
oh,
exaggeration because, and I kid you not, this seems like some Hollywood script, but
yeah.
someone from the mob approached this referee and said, you better rig
Mhm.
these games for me. I have money on these games. So if you don't do what I say,
Oh,
like you're gonna get hurt.
I don't know. When you told that story for some reason, why do I? It sounds so familiar. Like I definitely have heard about this Kings Lakers series before. I've definitely heard of it. What year was it again?
2002.
2002.
And
That was prime. I feel like NBA was going through
it's
some times during the
it's
early
the
2000s.
most controversial series in NBA history because
Mm,
the NBA, and this might also I might be mixing things up, but the NBA did not want to risk the Lakers not making it to the finals,
yeah,
not because they couldn't not because of the talent of the teams, but you don't want to have a finals like this one right now, actually, where it was two small market teams. I think
yeah.
I forget. I think they went up against the Nets that year or something like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you have Kings Nets, that's not marketable at all, and the ratings are terrible. So of course the
That's
NBA
yeah.
was going to try and rig it so LA can make and Shaq and Kobe could try and win again.
Interesting. Okay, that's a little food for thought. I like that. Okay, I'll definitely have to look into that.
So and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that ref got banned, which
Oh, really? Which is good. Yeah.
he should, but you can't really blame him because
I mean,
his life was literally on the line.
yeah. It's like it's kind of one word against. It's just like his word, though. I mean, like it's as much as you want to believe, like what he's saying. Like I'm
And
not. I believe. I'm saying I believe him, but like from like let's say the NBA's perspective when they're looking at this, like okay, you rigged our game. Okay, let's doesn't matter. No excuse. You're out. That's probably what was going through their head. They're probably like, all right, you're out of here for rigging the game. They probably didn't even like let him explain. They probably heard rigged and they're like, get up on out of here.
yeah, because that's just blatant interference. Very
Yeah,
unacceptable, but given the circumstances, I cut him some slack. Or a
yeah,
lot of slack. I mean, jeepers.
yeah. They probably just didn't sue him. They're like, all right, we're not gonna sue you. That's our slack.
Right. So I just it wasn't rigged last night, but things like that always happen in sports,
Mhm.
which are really weird to me and think like I think okay, that can't just be a coincidence. But it is. It
Yeah,
feels too weird to be a coincidence.
I know. It was last night. It was a little suspicious. I had a little after that foul, the whole Devin Booker hugging Drew Holiday on the way down. I was like, something. This ain't adding up here. But I was like, you know what? The Bucks won this. I'll give them their win. I'll give the Bucks their win. They came back. They held strong. I'll give it to the Bucks. I'll give it to them.
And yeah, so the Bucks end up winning. I'm trying to think, was there anything else to talk about? Um, Booker, as we said, had a great
Mhm.
night. He showed out. Aiton, for some reason, just disappeared. They didn't give him any shooting opportunities. And I just think, as inspiring as these last few couple of wins have been for the Bucks,
Mhm.
I still don't think it's going to be enough. And I want Milwaukee to win. I would love for Giannis to get a ring, but
Mhm.
you know, this
Mhm.
it, this is almost like, as I said, that wasn't even the Phoenix Suns' best performance. Can you imagine how well they're going to do when they're just clicking on all cylinders
When
again?
they're all
Blow out of the
and at
water.
home, that's gonna be rough for the Bucks. Because like these past two games have like given like me this like perception of the Bucks inside my head, like, oh, they're so much better than they actually are. Then I'm gonna like see them against the Suns at home and be like, okay, back to back to game one, Bucks. That's what I feel like is gonna happen. That's what always happens. I think a team is gonna do so well, then they go to the opposing team's home, they go away, and they just collapse. But I mean, as long as I don't even know, because I can't say as long as like literally for the Bucks, Giannis has to not collapse. Giannis can't collapse a single game. If Giannis collapse, game over. They lose. But because if Giannis doesn't collapse, they still need somebody else to pick up the pace and somebody else to pick up the pace if the Suns do well. So like it's just the odds are just so against the Bucks, I feel like, for the rest of this series. I still seeing it go 7 games though.
I think it'll go 7 games just based on the idea of home advantage.
Hmm.
I think. I guess we'll get into our predictions now. I think the Suns are going to take Game 5 and rebound. I don't see any reason why they won't. They're going to be in their home
Hmm.
crowd or home court, and I think Devin Booker is going to continue to do his thing. Chris Paul is going to rebound in a big way against
Hmm.
against
He
this
has
Bucks
to.
in Game
He
Five.
he better rebound in the go. If he doesn't,
I don't think
it's
there's any
bad.
way he has 2 bad games. It's like the same thing I said with Booker, where
Yeah.
it's rare you see people have 2 bad games in a row. So I
Especially.
think they're going to win, and they're going to win in big fashion. I'm willing to say it's going to
Ooh.
be a blowout in Game 5.
Like you talking 15 plus, 20 plus?
I'm going to say final score prediction 106-91 Suns.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna say I'm going 108-98 Suns. I see them winning this game, and then they'll be up 3-2. I don't know. The Bucks could really put up a fight in Game 6 at home. All right, sorry. Wait, Game 6 is gonna be Phoenix, right? Or would it be
In
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Oh, they go back and forth every other game. Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
So it's 2-2 and then 1-1-1.
Oh,
They
okay. I
changed
didn't know.
that format a few years ago.
Interesting. Okay, so then okay, now that's makes it a lot more interesting. Than in my head, I had the idea that they were going Phoenix twice in a row. Okay, so yeah, then this is going 7 series. This is going 7 for sure.
I hope it does. I mean, it's just the series is good, but it's just really all going to come down to who wants it more, and
Hmm.
it's really Phoenix's series to lose
Yeah, if they
because they should be up 3-1 right now. If they really wanted it more, they would be up 3-1.
yeah if the wow yeah the Bucks literally if they lose, I mean obviously it's gonna be like very it's just gonna be like they're not gonna. I mean, the fact that they made it this far, I don't know. Like in my head, it's like who expected the Bucks? Or like who really thought the Bucks were gonna get here? It was. I feel like it was like Nets, Sixers, and then the Bucks for most people's
Oh, definitely.
expectations. I feel like that was like the Bucks were just on nobody's radar. They were like, it's either Nets, if not Nets, Sixers, and then
Miami Heat too.
yeah, the Heat. I don't even know. I don't even know what happened with the Heat. They folded. They collapsed.
First time in NBA history where the defending conference champion the previous year gets swept in the first round the next year.
The Bucks just played with them. That
And
was so sad to see. Like Jimmy Butler is so good. I was like, what? Like,
Bryn,
really?
Bryn Forbes outscored Jimmy Butler.
That's just man. It's okay. The Heat. I want to say they'll be back, but I don't think they'll even be back.
I
I see
They'll
them
be
being a
good
six
again
seed.
next year. They
I see.
will be.
I'm smelling 6 seed from the Heat next year.
That'd be great. Put this. I think Celtics 1 seed ready to lock it in.
Celtics, I can always count on them to be fourth or fifth seed. In my head, I'm like, they're
And
just a solid fourth and fifth seed team.
break our hearts in the playoffs as they usually do.
Man, they just who knows? Maybe Al Horford the Al Horford return, raise put up the banner.
Hey,
Maybe he'll carry us.
at 35 years old, he'll average 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists per game on
He's
50% shooting.
MVP Horford season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. Let's hope. Let's speak it into existence.
His nickname used to be Average Al. So now he's above Average Al.
Yes, we'll crown him as above average Al.
I think that's a great place to wrap it up. I don't think there's much else to talk about. I just think,
For sure.
I don't want to jump too gung ho on these predictions though, because as
Yeah.
much as I want the Bucks to, as much as I want to believe in the Bucks after what we've seen these last couple of games, you know, you don't really know how a team is really going to function until the fifth game of the series, in my opinion, because any team can just, as you said, like be better than they actually are just by playing in front of the home crowd for 2 straight games.
Hmm.
It's really when it's those last 5 through 7 games where you really see if a team is going to do it. That's my 2 cents.
No, yeah, really, it's like, yeah, when they win the 2 home games, yeah, yeah, actually, oh my God, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like a lot of the series, like they really only get decided in the 5, 6, and 7 games because like every other and whoever has the advantage is just they just have like whoever has like the home court advantage. Usually, I feel like they win, but like in this case, I don't know. This is an interesting series. I really like where this series went. I thought I wasn't gonna like this series. I thought I was just gonna see a five game series, but we got something good on our hands, Davey. We got something nice.
And I hope it goes seven. The longer this series goes, the less time there is between the end of the NBA Finals and the Olympics.
There we go. And they won the game. They won against what was it? It wasn't Australia. They won. I forget who they won against. It was like 20 something points though. They won against.
Yep, they rebounded, won by
Mhm.
28.
Yeah.
They finally showed up and realized they actually have to try, and that they're not just
Yeah.
going to be handed the gold medal.
And I heard Bradley Beal got sent home for having COVID.
Yeah, they're working to replace him right now. He's in COVID protocols, so
That's a
it's a big
tough
loss.
that's a hit. That's a tough player to replace.
So that is going to do it for the end of this recap. We want to thank everyone who not only watched the part one, but part two. Make sure to hit that like button, absorb that subscribe button. More of these recaps will be coming, more other content will be coming on my channel as the summer keeps on going. So just be on the lookout for all that stuff. I appreciate all your guys' support. Tell us in the comment section what you like, what you didn't like. Probably don't like my internet. I apologize. What you like about us, what you don't like about us. Carter, I want to thank you again for sticking around and doing this recap with me in
Of
two
course, my man.
parts.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And we will talk to you after game five.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, everyone. Take care.
See you later.